Call this October 14th meeting of the Planning Commission to order. First item on is the approval of the agenda. I'd like to point out that item number 3, it's supposed to read from AGC to RUD, so it's just, everything in the packet is correct, just that's the only correction. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to
I'll second.
approve.
All right, all those in favor? All right, adoption of the minutes from September. Does anybody have any questions or corrections?
Matt, I do have a question. It's regarding the last item, which was under other business, looking at the studies required for the next impact fee for Fort Mill. And I know we talked about a number of things. Consensus was that we would be interested in looking at a third-party evaluation of the cost of construction of the planned and approved projects. I just wanted to mention that it might be worthwhile looking at, now that we have some history, how accurate the past numbers were as well. That could give us, that could go either way. That could make the old numbers look better, right, or more accurate if we're within a couple of percentage points. And it could also tell us whether that's something we need to look at or a little closer going forward. I think that was my only point. I'm assuming that we're going to get some comparisons.
That will be on the agenda for next month.
Okay,
When the consultant is here
okay.
to present either, is it gonna be an update or is it gonna be a draft? We don't really know yet.
I think we will have a draft to have a look at that meeting.
Okay.
So I think they're ready to present something to you guys, so you'll be able to get comments at that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was just making a point that it was, you mentioned that we did discuss various aspects of the study, and we did capture the fact that we wanted to see the construction numbers, but there may be more than that.
All right, does anybody have anything else? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
All right, all those in favor? First item up is a subdivision, Dunlap Acres, the applicant's Nation Land Company LLC, tax map numbers 34100000026, total acreage 42.5 acres, total number of lots 3, single family lots, Council District 3, Mr. Atkins.
As you heard, here we are for Dunlap Acres with Nations Land Company. This is a subdivision on the Chester Highway, about a mile south of York. And in this one, you'll see this little hole in the middle is not part of it. You can see mostly large agricultural lots around there. Here's our preliminary plat, and you'll see we have a tree save area, tree survey on it. A little closer look. On this particular plat, we have an access easement that gets back to the tract 1 and tract 2. This is 3 lots, but it's a major subdivision because the parent plat had enough subdivisions, just kicked it over the 6, so it would be considered a major subdivision, but we're not putting any infrastructure into it. The easement hooks up to a county road, Dunlap Farm. Hooks up there, but also it's in front of Chester Highways, in front of tract 3. Site is serviced by private well and septic. There's 5 acre minimum lots on there, so the approved septic permits for individual lots are not required due to lot size. Look at the density for single-family residential is allowed use in ag district. And ag district has a minimum density of 0.2 dwellings units per acre. This is proposed at 0.07 residential units per acre. The transportation network isn't affected much by this. The TA is not required for the subdivision. Look at the street connectivity and the pedestrian facilities. Again, as I mentioned before, we have access to Chester Highway, SDOT, and Dunlap Farm Road, which is county maintained road. And it's located next to large residential lots, and sidewalks are not required due to the density proposal. We didn't need any 20% open space or buffers are not required due to the zoning of the subdivision. Other applicable code has been satisfied. Tree survey and tree area has been completed and accepted by staff. We would recommend approval.
Thank you, Rick. Does anybody have questions for Rick?
Just a real quick, easy one. So, can we go back to the picture view a minute? Right, so looking along the edge there, looks like there's a gravel driveway that serves that property in the right corner in the back? Yes, sir. Right?
Yes.
So, just curious, what happens with these 3 new lots? Does that then become a private road to access all those lots?
I haven't researched that since it was outside of the subdivision area. Ideally, they would have a access easement agreement, which I recommend for anybody putting a driveway through anybody else's land. Unlikely, but they may have
Well,
some
it
prescriptive-
appears that's where their driveway goes now, if I'm seeing this well. Maybe I'm not.
No, there's actually,
It runs
There-
along that red border all the way out to the main road,
correct.
doesn't it?
So there'll be 2 driveways side
So
by
there would
side.
be a second one put in for this?
Yes.
I see, okay. Thank you.
Rick, I got one question too. The 30-foot easement, how come it doesn't extend to 321? Is there a reason behind that, or?
It goes to the county road. That's kind of a design choice. There's a drive that kind of goes, that connects the 2 there, but they're fitting all the requirements for, at least a minimum of 25 going to the
Okay.
county road. And I don't know if, DOT tries to limit accesses on there, so that would combine an access for its Dunlap Road.
Okay. Thanks.
Are there any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? No, that is unanimous. All right, next item is subdivision, Pallone family, the applicants James and Dorothy Pallone, tax map numbers 24800000037. Total acreage is 41.44 acres. Total lots are 3 single-family lots in Council District 3. Mr. Atkinson. Hello, Marion.
So, Marion Ray, zoning planner. This is very similar to the previous division that we just had. This is the Pallone family. The property is on Kelly Road, so it's directly west of here. It backs up to the now empty York Reservoir, but they're working on it. It's going to be refilled. And it's here tonight because it has been the parent parcel has been subdivided enough times that it triggered the major subdivision. Go to the preliminary plat here. It's zoned AGC. They are doing 3 lots. The minimum lot size is around 13 acres. It's 41 acres, so it's almost identical to the other one that we had. And it will go through the findings here. The site is serviced by private well and septic. They won't have to have the permits for it until they build because of the lot size and AGC status. The single-family residential isn't allowed use. AGC has a maximum density of 0.2 dwelling units per acre. This one is proposing 0.07 dwelling units per acre. And given 3 large lots, a TIA was not required for this division. The development's accessed from Kelly Road, which is SCDOT maintained. It's bounded by large lot residential to north and south, and then there's the reservoir to the rear. Sidewalks are not required due to the low density of the division. AGC zoning means there's no open space or buffers required, but there is a tree survey for the designated tree save areas on the parcel, and it's been inspected and approved by staff.
Are there any questions for Marion?
Real small one on this one. So the little line that runs kind of through the middle of everything, what is that?
That looks like it's the flood zone area. It's a tributary that goes down into the reservoir.
So that, you can't really see from the picture here, but it looks like a series of coils, right? Is that what, that's what I'm talking about. If you look, it kind of starts in the bottom left-hand, about 10-15% from the bottom left-hand corner, and then that line goes up and does a jagged down and straight across and another jagged down, and then, do you see what I'm talking about?
The tree line.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It
It's
is the tree
existing
line.
tree line.
That little squiggle through there is the existing tree line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the hardwoods. You can kind of see in this picture, it's right.
Okay. Just, I see lots of trees in the satellite there, and
Yeah.
I'm not seeing, okay. Okey-doke, thank you.
I mean, it looked like trees, but it could be like scrub brush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just,
why it's-
I
it's hard
didn't,
to tell.
it looked like it was
Yeah.
delineating something between this section and that section of each of the pieces, and I was trying to figure out what that was. Okay, thank you.
Marion, so that is the 25-foot access easement there in the bottom. Okay, it's just not written in there, but,
Right, it
Yeah.
will be a 25-foot access easement, and we will have the easement agreement in hand before we final plat.
yeah. It just wasn't labeled as that,
Ah.
but, yeah.
I think there, it says it somewhere on, in the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is that the new, I'm sorry, is that the, we had something maybe 5 months ago about what the requirement is, and somebody was a little bit under that, and we had to have a special request of, hey, can we keep doing it this, for access easement or
That one-
driveway, or?
That one was an existing access easement that was done like 20 years ago, and it was 18 foot wide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
that-
And they wanted
And
25.
they
That was
needed
in-
25.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions for Marion? If not, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Discussion? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? No, it's unanimous. All right, next up is rezoning 24-48, John Reed and Karen Smith, applicant owner, requesting to rezone a 4.448 acre parcel from AGC to RUD.
Yes.
Okay. The subject parcel is located at 1280 South Parham Road, York. Property's reference is tax map number 48900000012, Council District 2, Ms. Love.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Hello. This first request is to rezone a 4.448 acre parcel from AGC to RUD. And the purpose here is to allow the recombination of parcels that have 2 different zoning districts. The property is located at the intersection of Campbell Road and South Parham Road, just to the northeast of the town or city of York, in that and Lake Wiley. This area here is predominantly large rural lots, single-family homes, but a variety of lots from 2 to 3 acres to even much larger than that. Zooming into the property here, the subject parcel has a single-family home and a couple of outbuildings as well. The zoning map for the area here is a combination of RUD1, AGC, and RUD. For this one here, the other three corners at the intersection of Campbell and Parham Road also are already RUD1 and also is adjacent to RUD. Land use plan for the area, for the parcel itself is for Regional Employment Center. We don't see that very often, actually. The other areas here are recommended for rural residential to the west and single-family residential to the north. And as I mentioned, we don't see that very often, is our Regional Employment Center. And that area is targeted for business sectors such as financial services, business services, data analytics, typically where you have located near a educated workforce and the Charlotte Airport. This is also to attract employees with the mixed-use campus designed to integrate workspaces and green space. And I'm going to just go back this picture right here. It's difficult to be able to tell what that is, why that is there, that Regional Employment Center. If we were to zoom out from that, you would see at the intersection of Parham, Campbell, and as far over as 274, that's a very large area already zoned ID, and that's what influenced that area to become a Regional Employment Center. It kind of help put that into perspective as to why is that there. So we are recommending approval for this request. It does not align with the future land use map and the comprehensive plan. However, like I mentioned, there are three other properties at this intersection that are already RUD1, so it matches that. It's adjacent to the RUD property. It's also less than 5 acres, and it will still just allow this recombination while still maintaining the character of the area. Any questions for staff?
Yeah, Diane, I got a real quick one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the combined parcel with this one?
Let me
Can
go.
you show us?
So let me go to that map here. So actually what you have is this property here is owned by this person and this person. The intention here is to actually move this line over here just a little bit and then combine that property and this property. So we're actually going to go from 3 properties to 2 properties and no new construction. But they wanted to be able to line up their properties for their daughter is living here, and they want to just sort of get their estate in line. And that was one of the things they wanted to do, was to be able to do a simple recombination. And because you have AGC and RUD, you can't do that as it is.
Yeah, because I didn't know which is combined.
And in the packet, there is a plat, and it has the
yeah.
combination lines on
I
that.
see that, okay, but I just wanted to make sure that was correct. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions for Diane?
So neither of the combined, or any of the combined lots going to be greater than 5 acres? Because it's a little confusing on the map.
Yes, as a matter of fact, both properties will be greater than 5 acres at the end of the day. There'll be 2 properties, both of them greater than 5 acres. So right now, the
Yeah.
AGC property is less than 5 acres.
Got
They'll
it.
both be actually just over 6
It's
acres.
like 6 acres, I think, each.
Okay. Is there any reason they couldn't both be AGC at that point?
They could have, they would have had to rezone more land, which would have made it more expensive,
Okay.
because it's a per acre. And RUD is actually a more appropriate district for that area than AGC. So that would be a better
Okay.
way to go to RUD, given the fact you already have so much RUD in the area. And that's closer to, if you can say that, to the Regional Employment Center. That was a better choice for them to go to that district.
You've got quite a few residential properties between Parham and 274, though, on that side, too.
On Parham, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Campbell.
yes.
Not arguing, I'm just stating a fact.
All right, is there any other questions for Diane? If not, is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept?
I'll second.
All right, is there any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous. Next item on the agenda is rezoning 24-49. Todd Bernard, applicant, BKB Holdings LLC owner, requesting to rezone a 3-acre portion of a 6-acre parcel from ID to LI. The subject parcel is located at 230 Gill Way, Rock Hill. This property is referenced as tax map number 666-0000-037, Council District 5, Ms. Cox.
So this request to rezone the 3-acre portion of the 6-acre parcel from ID to LI. And the purpose here is to be able to develop the vacant portion at the back part of the property for a boat and RV storage use, which is not allowed in ID. Property is located at the intersection of Burkett Road and Gill Way. This is just adjacent to the city of Rock Hill. Land uses for the area, Burkett Road is predominantly a light industrial uses there. Then south of that is a multifamily development, and then further south of that is the Manchester Meadows soccer complex. Zooming into the property here, this is an existing industrial use, and the applicant felt there was an opportunity to utilize the back portion of their property for boat and RV storage. Right now, it's just vacant, and so they'd like to be able to do that. So here, the area to be rezoned is that 3-acre portion towards the rear of the property. Zoning else for the area here, it's ID and UD. Within the city of Rock Hill, there is some light or general and industrial, I think, is their district. Comprehensive land use map for the area here is multi-municipal infill. I've also grabbed here the city of Rock Hill's land use plan. This is their future land use map. So they have the property here is in the regional commercial district, but is it Burkett? This is a borderline for employment center. And so our municipal infill is, as you know, it's intended to be a seamless transition between the county and incorporated properties. So we typically look at the city or the other towns, what their future land use map is, and make a determination for approval recommendations. And for city of Rock Hill, like I mentioned, that was the regional commercial for that piece of property. And that's typically a zone of large-scale destination retail businesses, primarily accessed by automobiles. We're recommending approval for the request with the following condition. I'm not going to read it out to you, but you know what that condition is, because they are going to be subdividing that property with 2 different districts. It does not align with the Rock Hill's future land use map. However, the uses that are allowed here are similar to those in the surrounding area, both the county and the city's uses. Rock Hill plans recommend, like I mentioned, across Burkett Road is employment center, and that would align with the LI district. So for those reasons, we're recommending approval. Any questions of staff?
No questions? If nobody has any questions, is there a motion?
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
A second.
Second. Although
And-
we need to approve.
Sorry,
the
clarification, move to
Right.
approve with the condition as outlined.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Next item is rezoning 24-50. Tim Smith applicant, Lakeland Partners LLC owner requesting to rezone a 0.68 acre parcel from RUD1 to RUD. The subject parcel is located on Cedar Grove Road, York. The property is referenced as tax map number 194000056, Council District 3, Mr. Atkins.
This request is to rezone a 0.68 acre parcel from RUD1 to RUD, and the purpose here is to be able to combine the property with the adjacent parcel. Property is located on Cedar Grove Road. This is the northwest of the town or city of York. And you can see it's a very small property in an area of very large properties. This is a very rural part of the county. This was actually a remnant of another property, which I'll be able to highlight that in a second. But zooming into the property, this is just a vacant piece of land here. Nothing is on there. This property here, if you can look at the map, this was once all one parcel here. And so when this road came through, it cut out this corner right here. And so that remnant is to be added to the property to the south. So you'll add that to that. So zoning for the area is agriculture, AGC, AGC1, RUD, and RUD1. So we have them all here. The plan here recommends for agricultural. And as we know, that is prominent land uses are farmlands and timberlands, and also some very low-density residential developments. We're recommending approval. This request does not align with the future land use map or comprehensive plan. However, the intention is to combine that sliver with a much larger parcel, and the recommendation, will remove that non-conforming lot size. Any questions for staff?
If there's no questions for Diane, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All those in favor? Yes. Next item is rezoning 24-51. Jimmy Ward, applicant owner, requesting to rezone a 1-acre parcel from UD to RUD. The subject parcel is located at 220 Ward Drive, Rock Hill. The property is referenced as tax map number 601-0000-029, Council District 5, Ms. Collins.
This request is to rezone a 1-acre parcel from UD to RUD, and the purpose is to allow the expansion of an existing non-conforming residential use. Property is located on Ward Drive, which is just west of Neely Road. This is in the central part of the southern part of the county, outside of the city of Rock Hill. This area here is, it's still very rural down here. South Point High School is just to the south of the property. There's a neighborhood just to the north as well. Zooming into the property itself on Ward Drive, they have a single-family home, a pool, a couple of outbuildings. And the intention here is to be able to expand its existing house by adding onto it, which they cannot do because the property is owned UD. Zoning for the area here, this still is a very large portion of UD. This gray area here is the city of Rock Hill. There are a few properties that have already gone through this UD rezoning. They've gone to RMX 20 here. Future land use map for the area here is municipal infill. And for that one, once again, we're going to look to the city of Rock Hill's comprehensive land use plan, see what they're recommending. And they recommend neighborhood residential for here, which is where you'd have to protect residential feel and property values while better connecting neighborhoods and commercial areas, is how they describe it. We're recommending approval. This request aligns with our comprehensive land use plan and the city of Rock Hill. This will allow the property owner to construct additional living space and will also remove another UD legacy parcel. Any questions for staff?
Like the one before, which way are they extending on this? It doesn't really show.
There's a plan.
Should be a plan in your package.
Here in the
Yeah, I
package.
see that, but, oh, okay.
It would actually
It doesn't
be-
show.
Exhibit H.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah.
I see that.
It would be, can you bring up the aerial? Yeah.
There you
It would
go.
actually be toward,
The right.
Going here?
going down to the right, to the southeast.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
standing on Ward.
Okay.
Is there any other questions for Diane? If not, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Or who's that second?
Mike?
Thank you.
Mike was quick.
It was me.
The voice.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor? Unanimous. Next item is rezoning 24-37. York County Council has initiated the rezoning of 12 parcels within 10 multifamily communities from RMX 20, RMX 10, GC, or PD to the newly created RMX 6 zoning district, thus removing their non-conforming status.
Thank you. These are all in the Lake Wiley area. Like you said, this is a request to rezone 12 parcels for 10 existing multifamily communities. These are all built multifamily developments. Currently that are zoned either RMX 20, 10, GC, or PD. This new RMX district was established in 2022 with the new zoning code. This continues our process to remove these existing non-conforming status of multifamily uses. We already had one a few months ago for the Fort Mill area. These 10 properties are located off of Charlotte Highway, going from Buster Boyd Bridge all the way down almost to 5 Points. There's a list of those properties within your package. I'm going to just go ahead and look at two different sides. I've got the east side parcels. That's the Lake Wiley Woods, Redwoods, Hamilton Bay, the villages, the lodges, and then 3 of these also in River Hills, River Bluff, and Moore's Landing. And then on the west side, oops, the other way, we would have the Revere, almost to 3 Points, Clover Village, and Marlin Bay. And so these, like you'd see on the zoning here, is a variety of different districts, GC, RMX 20, RMX 10. You could do apartments at that time in multiple districts. We're recommending approval of the request, as this will remove their non-conforming status of these parcels. Any questions?
I have one question.
Hmm?
So specifically, the Revere
Mhm.
was a PD,
Yeah.
and I understand the change, but is there anything that was in that PD that would make it more restrictive than what going to RMX 6?
No, that was a PD that was a non-conforming PD. There's no mixture of uses. And so we reviewed that document to make sure that would actually adhere to the existing zoning code, and it'll work based upon that PD. There was nothing different in that one.
Okay.
And Diane, so these were all apartment complexes, is that
Mhm.
right? Okay, and
Yes.
so that, the RMX 6
Mhm.
was specifically for apartments?
So yeah, it was a new zoning district for apartments and also in townhomes. But it also, you can do single-family homes in there as well with a 6,000 square foot lot. So you can only do apartments or townhomes within that district.
Okay,
But that is not all you can do. You can also do homes,
but that's
single
all
family.
they can go into is that district?
Correct, in
Okay.
that district.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One other finer point here, talking about PDs. So if this PD goes away,
Mhm.
and now it's RMX 6,
Mhm.
what happens to the PD document that's on file for when that was put together? Because a lot of times I didn't pull the particular one, but there's
Right.
all these stipulations about the PD, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So, like I said, we reviewed that document. There was nothing within that PD in terms of conditions that were outside of what the zoning code would call. So this is like any other rezoning. A PD is a rezoning, so this matter would then supersede that PD would just go away. So now the zoning for this one is just a straight RMX 6.
Right, so if someone was to go look that up, would they still be able to find the PD?
Sure, it's in our
Yeah.
office, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
it would
we-
still
we'll
be
maintain
on
those
record,
forever. Absolutely, yeah.
But there would just be another document stating the terms in that document are no longer valid?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Dan, you've also got two properties or two parcels that are existing GC. One of them, Clover Village, I believe, I don't know where they are in their process, but were they not going to put retail on that same lot?
Not on the apartments lot. That's a full lot. So they're just going to be putting the retail on the other properties.
Okay. So that, this doesn't affect those.
No, those are all in the front. So yeah, those are all towards the front here. Clover Village apartments are all back here.
Gotcha. Okay,
Retail space is going to go in the front.
thanks for
Yeah.
pointing that out.
And I can just go ahead and bring to your attention here, the lodges is here, and that's the other GC property that you'd mentioned. There's a little piece of Hamilton Bay that's also GC,
Mm-hmm.
the one you could do apartments back there.
Those are all built out, though?
Yes, it's all built out.
All right, is there any other questions for Diane? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Got a motion to approve?
To approve, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Second. I thought that's what you meant.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was trying to beat Mike.
All
And
right, so the-
second, who's that second? Sorry,
Tom, is the
Tom.
second.
thank you.
So there's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? No? All right. Next item, the Planning Commission to consider initiating a rezoning pursuant to York County Code of Ordinances 155-1137A2 to apply the AGC zoning district to the 48 parcels or portions of a parcel as listed in Exhibit A. The parcels are located along the Chester County border between Burris Road South and Norfolk Southern Railway, District 5.
All right, this is actually a first time for the planning commission to do this that I'm aware of, and that gives you the opportunity, according to the code, as stated, that you have the right, the ability to be able to authorize a rezoning. And so typically, we've done this with county council, but that's been more of a policy recently, having them go through it. But this is more of a cleaning up thing. And so, as I mentioned in the staff report, in 2022, there were minor adjustments to the York and Chester border. And that added and removed parcels, and portions of parcels from each jurisdiction. Basically, some land went to York County, land came to Chester, it's a back and forth. And so this new land that came into York County needs to have zoning applied to it, because it doesn't have any kind of zoning districts to it. That wasn't part of that process of moving the state, or the county line. And so, like I mentioned, the zoning ordinance provides the authority for the PC to initiate a rezoning request. This isn't really a rezoning, this is applying a zoning. And so the request here is to apply AGC zoning to 48 parcels or portions of those parcels. And they're located between Burris Road South and Norfolk Southern Road. I don't know how far that is as far as how many feet or miles between those two, but I've clipped a sample of what this area looks like right now. So as you can see, all this area here that's in white, this was the area that came from Chester to York, and therefore there's no zoning. Zoning ends at the edge of that green. And you can see from that, some of the parcels are actually a full parcel. There is no zoning, like 322-9. That's a fully created corner with no zoning. However, 321-10 partially has AGC and partially not zoning. So what we're doing is we're going to extend, because of where it's located, this area here is all AGC, it's just to go ahead and extend the AGC, cover these 48 parcels.
Oops, sorry, Dave.
Mhm. Go
Questions?
ahead, questions or no?
Yeah,
We're good.
yeah. So is a new county line going to be established in this, once we approve it?
It's already been established. It was
It's already been
It was
established?
established in 2022, so what you see now is the existing county line.
Oh, okay.
So I think all we're doing is getting out the green marker and filling in all the white
Mhm.
space up to the county line.
Bingo,
Right.
yes.
So I have a question. So if you can go back to the previous slide.
Mhm.
So all these people are going to be notified, or they
Yes.
have been, or they
Well,
will
they
be notified?
already knew that they are now part of the county. That
Yeah.
was all taken care of, the notification process during that process.
Yeah,
So what we do for whenever we have a council or planning commission initiate a rezoning, everybody gets a certified letter return receipt. So we will do that as soon as, if you approve this to initiate, we'll come back to you at the next meeting when we have the actual formal rezoning request. And then before the public hearing is when we actually notify the people through a certified letter. It's a different kind of notification, and we will post the signs strategically located. We don't have to do every single parcel. When you do these large projects like that, is we can do them throughout the area. So they will be notified that way.
so these people are getting notified. If they wanted to, they could challenge. Is there, I'm just
Are we,
kind of
yeah,
playing
are we
devil's
telling them
advocate.
or asking them? Yeah,
No, I'm not
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't know that they would challenge this. I guess, the county has the zoning, so therefore we already established the county has zoning throughout the county. It isn't like it's even some areas where it's just certain parts of the county, it's the entire county.
So so if somebody, again, my question really is, the ultimate question is, if somebody wanted to come in with a building permit on one of these pieces right now, would it get stopped because it's not zoned?
Well, the majority of most of them are already zoned. So they would be continue on with that process. We wouldn't stop anything. So somebody came through, if they were on, say, 321-10, that very large parcel, only a tiny corner, if they wanted to, they would come in and we wouldn't stop them. Those tiny little pieces are really, obviously, the majority of their property is in Chester County. And so anything happening within them is probably going to be happening in Chester County. I don't foresee anybody coming in and saying, I want to do something right now, but I can't. I can't see it. Somebody may challenge it, but I don't anticipate that.
I didn't know if there's like a policy, because it's not zoned right now, they got free rein.
So no, there was a provision that it used to be if you didn't have zone, that RSF 40 would apply. I don't know that it's still there. That's how it used to be. So that there would be, if we discovered there wasn't zoning on a piece of property, that district would apply.
I noticed several of them are, of course, less than 5 acres. Okay. So the part in Chester County makes up the 5 acres or more, or how does that work?
So that's a good question. That's what we weren't too sure. It's like, these are areas that are less than 5 acres, so they aren't meeting our minimum standards. But given the fact of where it's located, what the plan is recommending, the fact that there's probably some amount of acreage below that, the majority of any development is going to happen in a different county, that we felt that AGC was the most appropriate district to apply to this area here.
Thanks.
It's a good question. I had the same question myself, like, you know.
Yeah.
So there are 16 properties out of this group that are UZ, which is,
Unzoned. There's a note on the, below
Yeah.
that table they don't have, because some of them had zoning on that.
okay,
Like a portion of the property already had some zoning, I'm just continuing it. If it's UZ, that's gonna show you it being a piece of property that actually has no zoning whatsoever, because there is no other zoning, kind of like 322.9 and 322.7 on this map right here. They're probably listed as being UZ,
okay,
because there's no other zoning on a portion of that property.
thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Is there any other questions for Diane? So, the motion would be to authorize staff to initiate the rezoning to apply the AGC zoning district to the 48 parcels or portions of them as listed in Exhibit A of this agenda item. I will make a motion to authorize the staff to initiate that process.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Yes. And the rezoning, tracking.
Your favorite.
Anybody have any other questions? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor? Meeting is adjourned.